Hi, welcome to the channel. Today is the second day of fourth chapter, that is mental healings in ancient times. If you are new on the channel, subscribe the channel and press bell icon so that you will get notification about new video upload. Don't forget to like and share. Let's start. One universal healing principle. It is a well known fact that all the various schools of healing bring about documented cures of the most wonderful character. The most obvious conclusion that strikes your mind is that there must be some underlying organ and process that is common to them all. Indeed, there is. The organ of healing is the subconscious mind, and the process of healing is faith. Think deeply about these fundamental truths. You possess mental functions that have been distinguished by designating one the conscious mind and the other the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is constantly amenable to the power of suggestion. Your subconscious mind has complete control of the functions, conditions, and sensations of your body. You surely know that symptoms of almost any disease can be induced in hypnotic subjects by suggestion. For example, a subject in the hypnotic state can develop a high temperature, flushed face, or chills according to the nature of the suggestion given. You can suggest to the person that he is paralyzed and cannot walk, and it will be so. You can hold a cup of cold water under the nose of the hypnotic subject and tell him this is full of people, smell it. He will sneeze violently and repeatedly. What do you think caused him to sneeze? The water or the suggestion? If someone tells you he is allergic to Timothy grass, you can place a synthetic flower or an empty glass in front of his nose when he is in a hypnotic state and tell him it is Timothy grass. He will develop his usual allergic symptoms. This shows us that the cause of the symptoms is in the subconscious mind. Curing the symptoms also takes place in the subconscious mind. Different schools of medicine, such as osteopathy, chiropractic, qigong, acupuncture, and naturopathy, all produce remarkable healings. So, do the rites and ceremonies of the various religious beliefs throughout the world. It is obvious that all of these healings are brought about through the subconscious mind, the only healer there is. Notice how the subconscious mind heals a cut on your finger. It knows exactly how to do it. The doctor dresses the wound and says, nature heals it. But nature is nothing more than another name for nature law, the law of the subconscious mind. The instinct of self preservation is the first law of nature, and self preservation is the foremost function of the subconscious mind. Your strongest instinct is the most potent of all autosuggestions. Widely different theories. Many different theories of healing have been advanced by different religious sects and prayer therapy groups. There are a great number who claim that because their practice produces results, their theory therefore must be right. As we have seen in the chapter, this cannot be correct. As you know, there are many varieties of healing. Franz Einstein, Mason, 1734 to 1815, an Austrian physician who practiced in Paris, discovered that by applying magnets to a diseased body, he could cure that disease miraculously. He also performed cures with various other pieces of glass and metal. Later, he abandoned the use of these objects in favor of passing his hands over the patient's body. He claimed that the real source of his cures was what he called animal magnetism. He theorized that some mysterious magnetic substance was transmitted from the healer's hands to the patient. Mason lent his name to this method of treating disease, which came to be called mesmerism. Today we know it as hypnotism. Other physicians, jealous of Mason's success, claimed that all his healings were due to suggestion and nothing else. When pressed, however, they had to admit that they did not know how his power of suggestion created such amazing effects. All of these groups, psychiatrists, psychologists, osteopaths, chiropractors, physicians, and religious groups of every variety are using the one universal power of resident in the subconscious mind. Each may proclaim the healings are due to their theory, but the truth is far different. The process of all healing is a definite positive mental attitude and inner attitude or a way of thinking called faith. Healing is due to a confident expectancy that acts as a powerful suggestion to the subconscious mind, releasing its healing potency. One person does not heal by a different power than another. It is true that both may have their own theories or methods, but there is only one process of healing, and that is faith. There is only one healing power, namely your subconscious mind. Select whatever theory, belief, and method that calls out to you. You can rest assured if you have faith, you will get results. Views of Paracelsus. Philips Paracelsus, a famous Swiss alchemist and physician who lived from 1493 to 1541, was a great healer in his day. He stated what is now an obvious scientific fact when he said, whether the object of your faith be real or false, you will nevertheless obtain the same effects. Thus, if I believed in St. Peter's statue, as I should have believed in St. Peter himself, I shall obtain the same effects that I should have obtained from St. Peter, but that is superstition. Faith, however, produces miracles, and whether it is true or false faith, it will always produce the same wonders. The views of Paracelsus were echoed in the 16th century by Pietro Pomponazzi, an Italian philosopher, who wrote, we can easily convince the marvelous effects which confidence and imagination can produce, particularly when both qualities are reciprocated between the subjects, and the person who influences them. The cures attributed to the influence of certain relics or the effect of their imagination and confidence. Quacks and philosophers know that if the bones of any skeleton were put in place of the saint's bones, the sick would nonetheless experience beneficial effects if they believed that they were veritable relics. Think what this implies. If you believe in the power of saints' bones or in the healing properties of certain waters, or like my Australian relative in the miraculous effects of a fragment of food, you will get results because of the powerful suggestion given to your subconscious mind. It is the latter that does the healing. Bernheim's experiments. Hippolyte Bernheim was professor of medicine at Nancy, France, early in the 20th century. He was one of the first to explain how a physician's suggestion to the patient's, patient, look, patient took effect because of the force of the subconscious mind. Bernheim relates the story of a man whose tongue was paralyzed. Every form of treatment was tried with no success at all. Then one day the man's doctor announced that he had learned of a new instrument that was certain to relieve his problem. The doctor then put a pocket thermometer in the patient's mouth. The patient imagined this was the instrument that was to save him. If in a few moments he cried out joyfully that he could once more move his tongue freely. Bernheim continues, among our cases, facts of the same sort will be found. A young girl came into my office having suffered from complete loss of speech for nearly 4 weeks. After making sure of the diagnosis, I told my students that loss of speech sometimes yielded instantly to electricity, which might act simply by its suggestive influence. I sent for the induction apparatus. I applied my hand over the larynx and moved a little and said, now you can speak aloud. In an instant, I made her say, ah, then be, then my Maria. She continued to speak distinctly. The loss of voice has had disappeared. Here, Bernheim is showing the power of faith and expectancy of the part of the patient, which acts as a powerful suggestion to the subconscious mind, producing a blister by suggestion. Bernheim states that he produced a blister of the back of a patient's neck by applying a postage stamp and suggesting to the patient that it was a fly plaster. This sort of demonstration has been confirmed by the experiments and experiences of many doctors in many parts of the world. These leave no doubt that structural changes in the body can be brought about as a result of oral suggestion to patients. The cause of bloody stigmata, hemorrhage, and bloody stigmata can be induced by means of suggestion. As a demonstration of this, Dr. M. Barrow put a subject into hypnotic trance, then gave him the following suggestion. At 4 o'clock this afternoon, after the hypnosis, you will come into my office, sit down in this armchair and fold your arms across your chest. Your nose will then begin to bleed. That afternoon, the young man did exactly as he had been told. After he crossed his arms, several drops of blood came from his left nostril. On another occasion, the same investigator traced a patient's name on both his forearms with the dull point of an instrument while the patient was in a hypnotic trance. Borrow then said, at 4 o'clock this afternoon, you will go to sleep. Your arms will bleed along the lines I have traced, and your name will appear written on your arms in letters of blood. The patient was carefully observed that afternoon. At 4 o'clock, he fell asleep. On his left arm, the letters stood out in bright relief, and in several places there were drops of blood. Although the letters gradually faded, they were still faintly visible 3 months afterward. These facts demonstrate at once the correctness of the two fundamental propositions previously stated, namely the constant amenability of the subconscious mind to the power of suggestion and the perfect control that the subconscious mind exercises over the functions, sensation, and conditions of the body. All the foregoing phenomena dramatized vividly abnormal condition induced by suggestion. They are conclusive proof that as a man thinketh in his heart, subconscious mind, so is he. Healing points in review. Remind yourself frequently that the healing power is in your subconscious mind. Know that faith is like a seed planted in the ground. It grows after its kind. Plant the idea seed of your mind, water and fertilize it with expectancy, and it will become manifest. The idea you have for a book, new invention, or play is real in your mind. This is why you can believe you have it now. Believe in the reality of your idea, plan, or invention, and as you do, it will become manifest. In praying for another, know that your silent inner knowing of wholeness, beauty, and perfection can change the negative patterns of the other's subconscious mind and bring about wonderful results. The miraculous healings of your heart here, of the healings you hear about at various shrines are due to imagination and blind faith that act on the subconscious mind, releasing the healing power. All disease originates in the mind. Nothing appears on the body unless there is a mental pattern corresponding to it. The symptoms of almost any disease can be induced in you by hypnotic suggestion. This shows you the power of your thought. There is only one process of healing, and that is faith. There is only one healing power, namely your subconscious mind. Whether the object of your faith is real or false, you will get results. Your subconscious mind responds to the thought in your mind. Look upon faith as a thought in your mind, and that will suffice. Okay, and today is the end of the fourth chapter. We will start fifth chapter, that is mental healings in modern times, in the next session. If you are new on the channel, subscribe the channel and press bell icon so that you will get notification about new video upload. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you so much.